Yo, what is up? So I'm checking out the Chronos The New Dawn on the 4090 now. So I wanted to see if it did actually crash with ray tracing on. So I've done all the same settings as I did on the 90% XT, apart from the upscaling option. I went with DOSS, and I think I left shade because I did leave shaders on medium before, so I thought I'd just leave it on that. Because you never know with some of these games if a certain setting is causing the crash. But I'm pretty sure it was the ray tracing anyway for AMD, and or it could have been the game. But to me, it was pretty obvious. As soon as I put ray tracing to off, I could play the game. I could get through the first cutscene. So what I will say is, I did get through the cutscene. It didn't really surprise me. Uh, it just feels like a lot of these games do seem to run better. Uh, Certain games with ray tracing on Nvidia, so I don't know why. I'm not sure why, but I just feel like some games are more tested on Nvidia GPUs than AMD GPUs at times, and then you get these issues like with a crashing uh, shader comp or whatever. I think it actually happened in Black Myth Wukong where I literally couldn't get past the first cutscene, but I could on Nvidia. Uh, then I had to disable ray tracing. So I don't know, but I don't even know if it was ray tracing what was crashing. It was so long ago, but there was one setting that was bad for AMD drivers, and then it was literally fixed. So I expect AMD will release a driver at some point. But what I will say is, it. I mean, I had no issues getting through the cutscene with the 4090. I mean, you shouldn't need a 90 class, but I imagine it's just working better on Nvidia for whatever reason at the moment. This game, but I did actually hear there is like some sort of traversal star with ray tracing on the Nvidia side anyway. So it's not it doesn't seem as I said it doesn't seem to be worth it when I'm looking at. I did put ray tracing on, and then I turned it off quite quickly because I thought, well, that is taking away a fair bit of performance. And I didn't actually. I mean, when I cut the recording in this video, I did put it on again. I should have done it during the video really, but I just had a feeling it just weren't gonna be to my liking because I mean it was knocking about 35 FPS to 40 FPS off the frame rate, so I felt it was just too heavy for me, and I was still getting about 75 FPS the lowest, and then it went to 80. But then I'm thinking I'm looking at the game and I'm thinking it's not really worth it. Uh, of course, there will be certain scenes where you'll see a couple of people showing screenshots on social media or whatever and saying how great it is, but for me, I don't care. I'm thinking I'm definitely on both GPUs. I won't be using ray tracing because I just felt, well, that's pretty good. I'm getting over 100 FPS, and when I'm turning it off, you'll see it at the start of this game. So I do actually show the difference in FPS, but it actually gets heavier in other areas of the game. So that was probably the best case scenario. But the situation I show after this cutscene, that it was about 80 FPS, and then I turned it off, and then I got about 100, just over 100. But as I said, depending on where you are, depending on what's going on, because it's hardware ray tracing, I think, and I think it's using Lumen at default. I haven't totally looked into it, but that's usually the case. So it looks like it's one of them games where you can't turn it off anyway. And so just like mostly all these other Unreal Engine games, especially when ray tracing is on, you just lose a lot of performance. Even on, you can have a 50, 90, whatever, you will just get a lower frame rate than you literally expect. Which actually brings me on to this, actually. If you want more performance in your games, because a lot of developers leave performance on the table, and you can actually get 15% to 60% in some games. So it will depend on the game. But this guy, Hybrid, I know, he actually created the Nvidia profile inspector revamped, you've probably seen me using it, and you could actually get gains of up to 15% at least or 60%. So that is really good. So it's even got the Chronos game in the New Dawn. So if you actually really want to run ray tracing, that might actually help you out, which would be great for people that are the enthusiasts. So that's I mean, it does really wind me up when developers just don't optimize a game. So I think that, I mean, it's totally free. You can donate to him if you want. Uh, but yeah, it's brilliant that he's doing that because I mean, considering the optimization these days, you literally need it. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna. I totally trust him that it works because I've been speaking to him quite a few times actually on and off. So for quite a while, we've been speaking on and off. So I will actually check it out myself at some point when I get some more time. But yeah, anyway, back on this game, as you can see, there's no like, I was literally getting so many stutters on the 97XC at this point, and then it probably crashed. It didn't get this far. It literally crashed before I could get to this part. So, well, I don't know. I mean, all I know is that ray tracing just stopped it crashing, and that was it. So I don't know why, but it's obviously some sort of driver issue, or the game just wasn't tested on AMD, and it was tested on Nvidia, and they just decided to release it because a lot of games just, you know what they're like. I mean, it goes without saying. But I do like the game. I mean, despite that, I mean, once you turn ray tracing off, and as I said, to me it just looks too heavy anyway for what it's doing. So, I mean, it will depend on what you got. I mean, I can run it on the 4090. It's just I don't like how much performance is taken away when I don't think it's doing much because it's a very dark sort of blurry sort of looking game anyway, in parts, and I just don't think I just don't think it's happening enough throughout the whole game for what it's doing. Yet your FPS is going down a fair bit. As I said, it can actually go up to like 35 FPS at times, which is far too much for me. So it's knocking off 35 FPS. So here it was knocking off a fair bit, which is why I turned it off. But then I thought, I literally thought further into the game that yeah, it's even less worth it when I tried it out again. But yeah, I do like the game. I mean, putting that aside, it just reminds me a fair bit of a Dead Space, maybe Resident Evil. So I've turned it off, and you can see it's just giving me a nice bump. Uh, yeah, I mean, almost 120 FPS now. But I was literally in the 80s, and that will get worse the further you go into it if you put ray tracing back on. So it's probably, I wouldn't recommend it, to be honest, ray tracing. For I mean, this is a 4090, so below that, I mean, even if the 9070 XT could run it, I don't think the frame rate would be that great. So it seems a bit pointless anyway to me. So I would just literally play it without it. I mean, the game looks good enough anyway without it. So I do find ray tracing can make a game look really. It can make a game much better, but it depends on the game. And there are certain games where you put it on, you don't really think it's worth it, and I'll just literally turn it off and just play the game without it. So for me, this is one of them games where, for me, I'm not bothered about turning it off at all. So there's probably going to be certain parts in the game, but probably like 10% of the game where you'll see what ray tracing is doing, and then I won't even notice it. So for me, I'm just going to enjoy the game like this with a healthy FPS. That's just how I think. I know a lot of people don't think like that. Anyway, yeah, no performance issues on Nvidia. So not much of a surprise because, I mean, they are updating their drivers. The only issue was before it just seems to be doing more damage than good. And I do find these drivers are pretty good unless there's a specific problem in the game, like it seems to be with this one with ray tracing on. But I'm gonna have to. I mean, I literally, because I get these games and then I'm sort of thinking, oh, I don't even know. You sort of get overwhelmed because I've got so many games I've got, and I just can't decide what one to play now. Sometimes, I kid you not, I was looking at my desktop the other day for like half hour, just sitting there, and I was thinking, I literally don't know what to play. There's like too many good choices, and I have had that problem before where I've actually, because I have all the games installed on my desktop, and then I actually at one point I had to uninstall a lot of the games because I just felt like every time I looked at it, I couldn't decide what to play. So I would literally uninstall most of them and leave about 5 installed so I could focus on them. But as a content creator, it's a lot easier for me to have a lot of games installed, so it saves time. So that's the other issue I got. But as I said, I love gaming. So it's only a small problem. I mean, there's worse problems in the world, but it can be a bit of an issue at times. But I mean, I'm gonna try and focus on I think I want to start playing Hell Is Us. See if I can get into that. The Mafia. I did actually manage to complete a game which actually drew me in. That Dead Take came. I said I'd really like that, and it wasn't the longest game. There were quite a few puzzles in that which were pretty good, so I really enjoyed that. So I did manage to complete it. I really liked the game. The ending was a bit weird, I would say, but apart from that, I really recommend that. I think it was definitely worth. I mean, I only paid £10 for it, so good. Yeah, and the other game I actually quite like and is a Mafia, so I probably will play a bit more of that over the weekend. So amongst other things, but yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, probably the next game I'll get will be FIFA, to be honest, FC 26, and I haven't really got my eye on anything else recently. I think you got Borderlands coming up, which I really like that series, but I don't think there's any point in me getting that until I get further. I mean, I still need to complete the previous ones. But back on this game, yeah, I do like it. Definitely. I think, I mean, I do like the little ways you can literally progress throughout the game. You'll get some codes you've got to find out and stuff like that, and then you'll run into some monsters. So it's going to be a thriller. I like scary games anyway, so because I literally don't get scared. I literally relish this sort of stuff. So I'm quite a brave gamer with stuff like this. I like horror movies, stuff like that. So yeah, it gives me a buzz, to be honest. And actually, the other game I started playing a bit more of was Metal Gear Solid, the remake, Snake Eater. So yeah, I'm actually quite liking that game, to be honest. So I would recommend that because for what it does remind me of the previous games. So it gives you it's a higher quality game. I really like the conversations with a paramedic. It's like she sort of flirts with Snake and stuff like that. So it's really quite well done actually. That the high quality of the dialogue is actually it puts a lot of games to shame these days. And again, these are the performance mods. So if you want an improvement of a 15% or even 60% in some games, that could be literally could be a lifesaver. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.